Now it's time for Boudewijn Mos of Ecochain. Welcome to Eco Summit.
Hi,
Big pleasure.
Thank you very much. Well, 2 presentations ago, I heard that you should invest in Mos. Well, my name is Mos, so that's maybe a good way to start. We all know that everybody on this earth, you, me, and every living and non-living, has a footprint. And only nature itself, so far, has been able to maintain that fine balance between, well, let's say, within its ecosystem. And we as human beings, only in the past 200 years of industrial revolutions, we just have to, we just came to the conclusion that we are quite far away from that right balance between what we take from nature and what we should do in order to give back, or in order to maintain the value of the materials that we use for other purposes, so new cycles. To measure and to quantify how sustainable products are, we basically need to sum up all these emissions and all these uses of materials throughout the entire life cycle of a product. So that's why it's called a life cycle assessment. So basically a life cycle assessment is a sum of all the materials which are used on the one side, and on the other side all the emissions that take place. So everything we give back through emissions. So with an LCA, we can basically assess a product and see how sustainable it is comparing to its peers. That's very interesting for marketeers, especially in this case. But it also identifies potential to perform better, to reduce costs and to reduce your emissions. But there's a big complexity with LCAs. If we look at a certain product, to really understand how it performs over the entire life cycle, we have to include a huge amount of data. We have to include data from suppliers, which they're often not willing to share. So over the past 30 years, all these life cycle assessment specialists, because there's a true specialism needed to do these calculations, we have only been able to calculate roughly 30,000 products. But the problem is we have billions of products and billions of raw materials, semi-finished products. So the numbers are not scalable. The technologies that are there already for almost like 30 years is not scalable to the scale that we actually need. So that's why basically the reason why we started Ecochain, from a completely new concept to assess products. So with Ecochain, we are the first one based on an entirely new methodology we call activity-based footprinting. Maybe that sounds familiar for some of you. It's a derivative of activity-based costing. So we follow the same rules, but now applied to environmental sustainability. So this gives our customers the possibility to not assess one single product by product, but simultaneously for their entire product portfolio. And that's very interesting because basically we identify optimization potential based on the raw material use and energy use within the boundaries of your company. And in the past 2 years, we have initiated pilot projects with different multinationals that led to incredible business cases. And in the past 2 years only, we already assessed over 35,000 individual products on their total life cycle. So it's a huge number. So this is only done by two of our specialists, by the way. So what we do is, like I said, we basically make an entire breakdown of your energy and resource flows next to the costs within the boundaries of your company. And to those algorithms, we connected networking technology. So basically, as a producing company, you can start to invite your suppliers to do the same for their product portfolio. And then we vertically connect that data together. So if your supplier changes to green electricity or does a sustainable investment in its processes, the results are directly recalculated throughout the entire value chain. So that means if you sum up all the little optimizations that can be achieved in the value chain without even applying new technologies, but just what we already have, we see that there's a potential of up to 20% in at least the cases that we have assessed so far. So we are based in the Netherlands, so quite obviously the first companies we started to assess were Dutch companies. And so we piloted over the past 2 years to see how fast we can implement it, Ecochain, and what the final results were, just to build the business case of environmental sustainability. So we've been searching also for this business model because we want to have a business model that can include any and all companies in the world in any industry, which was a huge challenge. So it took us quite a while to really break the nut of how to build the right business model. So right now we have a SaaS solution that basically is a pay per factory. So a company with multiple factories have a license for each factory. And the idea is that through their buying power, they push Ecochain throughout the entire value chain. And what we see already with what we currently have in our tooling is that the costs of LCAs have dropped dramatically. So now LCAs can be applied to any and all companies. And so basically we can maximize the optimization potentials in value chains. So we see at this moment that the market size for the EU will be around 2 billion by 2019 and 18 billion globally by 2025. And actually, we're getting a little push in the back because legislation is also falling into our direction, saying or stating that LCA is the measurement methodology to assess products and the sustainable impact of products. So we see several initiatives in Western European countries, where, for instance, in Belgium, it's already legislation. There was a koninklijk besluit. It's like a royal decision that within the construction industry, companies are forced to provide LCAs if they want to make a sustainable claim. So there's a huge potential for the next, let's say, the next 5 to 10 years. So with the connecting functionalities, we like to say that the idea is that we are sort of Facebook on sustainability. So you're not inviting your friends, but you're inviting your important stakeholders onto the platform. So Ecochain is therefore highly scalable. And quite accidentally, we found out that with Ecochain, we basically built a data hub that is like the next generation of ERP systems, enabling companies to not only look within the boundaries of their own production and find optimizations within their own production, but include data vertically in the entire value chain. And that's a unique proposition. So we are looking for a total of 15 million, and we hope to close 1.5 by the end of this year, and to expand the pilot projects that we have initiated over the past 2 years. And well, with your help, we hope to take it to a next level. Thank you very much.
It's a really awesome company. I have a question for you. Are you already doing business with the startups?
With these startups?
For example, some of the people here?
No, not yet.
Would you like to do business with them?
Very much, very much. So I see a lot of companies here that have initiated really new products and have factory locations that produce these products. And I think Ecochain can add value to their proposition by also showing them and proving that they're not only provide a sustainable solution, but the way it was produced is actually sustainable as well.
Yeah. I think it's a really universal tool. I like it very much. And of course, I like your name. Ecochain, that's it. Rock and roll.